Hello everyone, welcome back to a new replay cast. Today we're going to be having a look at a game between Liquid, Taeja and Stats. Seems to be starting with a little bit of a high ground wall here on Nightshade into a very fast scout. Stats, of course, also known as the Shield of Ire. A very good defensive Protoss player. Hasn't been doing too hot lately. Well, I mean, he's still extremely good, but the problem just... he hasn't really been winning any tournaments, and that's really how you judge Stats. With the reputation that he has, the amount of wins that he has, you always look at this guy going into a tournament. Well, can he win it? And if he doesn't, it's kind of a disappointment, honestly. Some harass going down on this barracks. We see Taeja opening up with a barracks before gas. Very standard opener. Gets that Reaper a couple of seconds faster. Also gives the possibility to open up into a quick marine for a faster factory timing and just a slightly more economical build order than something like gas before barracks. Usually anything that prioritizes minerals over gas is going to be more economical, because the first few minutes of the game, the limiting factor for basically anything is going to be minerals, for anything that increases your economy at least. So whether that be SCVs, orbital commands or command centers, depots, majority of the time that is going to be limited by minerals. So anything that prioritizes minerals over gas is usually going to be better for your economy. Now, of course, tech wise, sometimes it's better to get a faster gas, but yeah, that kind of just makes sense. And we see core before Nexus here being opened by Stats, which means his first adept will be out very quickly. Second Stalker starts immediately as well. Taeja is gonna try. Oh, he's going towards the inside. A lot of the time you see Terrans move away. This is going to allow Taeja to actually get into the main base. Will be able to perhaps pick up a worker. No, he won't be. I wonder if he's going to be able to get away with this Reaper, honestly, because Stalker is out now. Adept managed to finish a Shade. Twilight gets built on the low ground, so no proper scout here for Taeja, who loses the Reaper. Sees no tech whatsoever, can assume it's going to be either a Twilight or a Robo. Sees the Adept Stalker, sees no fast tech, so it would be either a really late Stargate or just a regular time Twilight / Robo. And we're actually seeing both Twilight into Robo, third Stalker on the way as well. This is a build that Barting recently did in the GSL a lot versus Maru. One of those builds where you get the Robo before you get the Twilight Council in order to get either a faster Observer out or a faster Prism on the other side of the map. So very common follow-up here is indeed 4-gate Blink. We'll see exactly what Stats decides to do as he walks by the bunker. Will lose an adept for that. Kills a Hellion though, so I think he might have been able to get a Marine or something as well. I'm not quite sure what happened there. We see double gates going down right here for Stats, who will most likely start his, I want to say Observer first. Ooh, starts with the Prism. So it is going to be a 4-gate, indeed, with that Robo before Blink. Very common. This Prism is very, very fast. A lot of the time you'll see Protoss players actually get that Observer before you get the Prism. Because the Prism, you don't need it to be on the other side that quickly majority of the time. What else do we have here? We have a third gas going down. Good work account here for Stats, who's looking to start putting on some pressure on his opponent. Start spreading out Stalkers as well, trying to catch any kind of drop. No drop is on the way yet. We see the first medevac is still safely at home, as we have two mines. I'm not sure what they're doing. They're just in the mineral lines. Of course, Taeja still isn't quite aware of what's happening. He didn't manage to scout with his Hellion nor with his Reaper, so in case of oracles, he is keeping all those mines at home. Now, that might turn out pretty poor for him, because now there's no pressure whatsoever on his opponent's base. And we see Stats moving into his opponent's territory here with 10 Stalkers out already. We'll try to blink into the main base here. This is only 8 Stalkers or so. Will be good enough to two-shot a tank, but not quite enough to one-shot. You need 11 Stalkers for that. Bunch of Marines going down already. Good Raven usage here out of Taeja. That's a pretty big hit. Big mine at 6 workers have gone down already. Don't forget this is a semi all-in with a third base on the way now. But there's no real tech behind it, no upgrades. So Stats needs to be very careful here that he does enough damage. And 11 workers is getting kind of close to doing enough damage. Thing is, he's gonna need more than just 11 workers because there is a third CC. He's gonna need to get a couple more units in order for this to be worth it. We might see a blink forward here actually. For Zealots being warped in, we'll be able to tank a lot of the shots. Good pickup here by Taeja, which very good Zealot warp in though. Putting in a lot of work here for Stats. We'll blink back. Take a look at the units lost. We see Stats is still ahead and a lot of those workers or units lost have been workers. 15 workers have gone down in total and a lot of SCV pools in general as well. Blink forward here with Stalkers. Good repair on the tank. We'll be able to win him a lot of time actually. Just him to keep this tank alive. So very nice play here by Taeja, who is showing a pretty decent defense so far. And I did lose a lot of workers. He is a little bit behind in economy at this point. As you can see, 400 or 500 minerals. Third base has finished here for Stats as he sends the Prism into the main base. Very poor micro there. Well, actually Blink was on cooldown, so couldn't have blinked away. Gets a medevac, gets a couple more workers. Prism in the main gets a couple more workers. Man, Taeja's in so much trouble. 4 Zealot warp in. You see charges halfway done. Is there a forge yet? Yes, there is a forge. 14 workers going down, man. Taeja is getting absolutely wrecked here by Stats, who hasn't started his upgrade yet. Is floating a little bit of money. Taeja doesn't really have any money to float because he barely has any income. He's practically mining from one base at this point. Another 21 workers. So I think we're about 36, 37. 37 workers have gone down and Taeja realizes there's no need to stay into this game. Decides to leave. Calls GG. Let's hop into game number 2. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to game number 2 between Stats and Taeja, and we're seeing something happen here that doesn't happen a lot. We see a proxy coming out of Taeja. Actually, that's not true. We saw it a lot also in the GSL. It seems to be a single SCV for now. So just going to be a single proxy Rex, most likely for a Reaper. Into some kind of tech behind it. Most likely the tech will be used at home. So barracks being placed close to this ledge, close to this ledge as well. Might be able to jump up one of those two locations. Gas is going down. Second gas will start relatively soon, usually at 17. There we go. See low ground wall here for Stats, which I don't usually like very much against Proxy Reaper. Makes it a little bit hard to defend. So Stats now fully aware of what's happening. Very fast gate scout actually. We'll see how fast he managed to get down his Cyber Core. So for Stats, priority now is finding out whether the factory is going to be built at home or somewhere else. We'll see Cyber Core, Zealot, Pylon, Zealot, Nexus. Very safe play here by Stats. A lot of the time these days we see Core, Nexus, Zealot, Pylon, something like that. So slightly more economical and a small delay on the Zealot in that case. But this is a very fast Zealot. This delays the Nexus, however. And it also gives your opponent an opportunity to actually block the Nexus. What? I haven't seen this response before. So we get a battery in the main base. I don't know. I guess some extra gateways for warp ins. So what's gonna happen is he wants to recall into his opponent's main base. Probably with a couple of gateways. We have 2 Reapers out already. Is a Hellion really the best here? I don't think so. But he needs some type of units, right? How many units is he gonna get? 2? 3? He already has 2 Adepts. Adepts and a Zealot. And, I mean, he's gonna recall. There's gonna be a single Hellion, that's it. Wouldn't it have just been better to get a tech lab. I think he should have built a bunker and gone home with the Reapers. He really should have built a bunker. Right? I mean, this is a one-time thing though. It's not like he's gonna be able to recall 3 times, you know? Is this worth it? He kills 5 workers and now there's a Nexus in his opponent's base. It's a Nexus at home. And what did he lose? So his downing units lost. This can't be worth it, right? I thought maybe if he gets a lot of units and he waits a bit with the recall and then he gets like a probe and builds a pylon right next to the Nexus, then you can get like 4 units in and you can warp in with the pylon once your warp gate finishes, but you need to bridge a lot of time then, I think. Absolutely no clue what he's gonna. I think I'm right. I think Taeja is absolutely wrong here. I think Taeja is in a fantastic position. No. Really not behind. We have Cyclone coming out. Not even necessary. Could just be a tank at this point. Double barracks. It's kind of bad that he isn't building a reactor on this, honestly. Just is worse. I'm not quite sure why he isn't. I'm also not a fan of the Cyclone. Much would have preferred seeing a tank. This is a really... What? This is a really weird switch. You're gonna build a Raven? He's afraid of DT, I guess. No, he's gonna go Cloak Banshee. But he showed it by swapping while the Nexus was still alive. I mean, Stats is pulling slightly ahead in worker count, which is nice for him, but the army that's out on the map is so big already for Taeja. Single mine drop start, so is he aware of what's happening? He has no clue what the tech is, so that's why he's so afraid. He's afraid of everything. It's not gonna be a good fight for Taeja. Mine drop is going in. We'll be able to drop on top of this ledge. It's actually really sick if you drop here. It's pretty difficult for TOS to react if you come from a hidden area. Oh, that's some dead probes, no? Poof. Just one. Taeja tries to move away. Taeja's still in a good position, don't get me wrong, but the fact that he doesn't have any tanks and this weird build order he was doing with these 2 barracks, I don't really like. I don't really like that at all. We're now seeing a bunker, eBay going down as well. First, no, where's the Banshee? Okay, Banshee going out on the map. Is there a battery somewhere? Battery in the main, no battery in the natural. Here come the Stalkers, trying to go for the bunker. No, instead we'll just walk by. Said it's time to clear a couple of Marines, a couple of SCVs. Shows the Banshee straight into vision. Where is that first observer? It's not here. Banshee not really being controlled. Here we go. If he stays in the natural, he actually might have been able to do a little bit of damage here. In the main, not so much. Observer is coming out now. We'll be able to push away this Banshee. Might even... Nah, won't kill it. Second Banshee is on the way. Taeja's still up in workers now, so... We're seeing a big dedication to this pressure coming out of Stats. That effect dies. Taeja playing very sloppy here. Tanks on the way, 3rd base on the way for Taeja as well. +1 attack upgrade. If Stats blinks into this, then that would be real powerful. Another unit falling here for Taeja. We'll also lose the Banshee on the other side. So 2 Banshees given away for free, a medevac given away for free. 3rd base is on the way, like I mentioned. We are on 3 racks currently. You see that? A little bit of a dance party here with the tank. Do the Harlem Shake. We have 2 extra gates on the way here for Stats, who is going up to 5. What a weird gate count. No, yeah, 4, 5. 5 gates. This CC will lose its work. I don't think this CC should die. Absolutely not. We see a stim forward. Stats should be able to I get 1 or 2 Marines before he will need to blink out. Marauders are being moved forward and a tank as well. So another couple of units dying for free here. So that's really getting a lot of worth out of these Stalkers. Immortal being started, more Stalkers being warped in. We have +1 attack, charge. And we're on 4 gas currently for the Protoss player. There's no follow-up tech, no Robo Bay, no Templar Archives. Nothing of the sort. Oh, that's nasty. Gonna be losing at least a single Stalker there. No concussive actually really helping here for stats. If there was concussive, I'm pretty sure he would have lost the second one. Now instead, Taeja will need to turn around. +1 has finished for him. Combat shield as well as concussive about to finish up. I feel like Taeja is just in a really good position right now. He's got Rex 4 and 5, got that +1 armor on the way. He's up 15-20 supply. His mine production starts a little bit late, but I mean once he gets up to 4-6 mines with this army, it should be pretty difficult to break here for Stats, who is already on 6 gases. And I believe I saw Templar Archives, yeah, so should be either heading into Storm or just into Archons. As we see Storm starting, we see a Prism out here, could be for Templar, could be for something else. This gets completely spotted, by the way, by an observer here, by Stats. The Stats will start moving into position. I think Taeja is completely unaware of what kind of position he's in, where I think if Taeja just pushes with 4 to 6 mines, maybe 6 to 8 mines in the front, I think it would be so hard here for Stats to beat that. These shenanigans are nice because it's a relatively safe play, but I think he could do way more here. Stats already anticipating the next move out of Taeja. Dropping into the main base here is a little bit risky. There's only a single tank to back them up. If they're mines, there's 1 mine on the low ground. Zealot moves forward. Double drop coming in. Storm has completed. That's a lot of Zealots going in for some kind of run by. As Taeja decides to drop into the 3rd base. A couple of Storms raining down onto the low ground. Immortal shooting down from the balcony. Big drop into that 3rd base now here. Same time we have a Prism with a lot of Zealots into the main and a big Zealot run by into the 3rd as well. So lots of action happening on the map at the same time. Stalkers were in position. Taeja not paying attention. Loses 3 medevacs filled with units for free. Taeja's been bleeding a lot of units for free this game. Loses 20 workers as well. Prism in the main. Does end up falling, but 20 workers have gone down. We see +2 is on the way for Taeja, but all of a sudden he's down in supply. He's down in workers, +2 gets cancelled or denied as well. Taeja decides to call it GG. Very, very uncharacteristically sloppy game by Taeja, but Stats managed to win it. And that's going to be it for today, as he wins the best of 3, 2-0. And if you did enjoy this, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Like the video, as it helps a lot. And I'll see you all next time.